last time, and Piers Morgan said it, they're not here to defend themselves. Do you think the Carters will speak about any of this? About
Beyonce
what's going
is
on?
losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day. And she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say something?
I mean, probably not, considering she's going to be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there. How many up people does he have to be around before people see him for who he is?
It seems like these artists are trying to run away from their past. Diddy changed his name multiple times to say, that's not me. I'm trying to move beyond Diddy. I'm love now.
What kind of love? Baby oil love? Baby love? Explicit love, hey!
Jay-Z's name has always been linked to power and success. From growing up in Brooklyn's Marcy housing projects to building a billion-dollar empire, his journey has been truly amazing. However, today he is in the news for very different reasons. Allegations and controversies have come up, raising questions about the legacy he worked so hard to build.
Jay-Z's been accused of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000, allegedly along with Sean Diddy Coombs. Our US correspondent Martha Kellner has the latest from Los Angeles.
This civil suit was originally filed back in October against Sean Combs, better known as P. Diddy. It has now been amended to also include allegations against Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter. In this civil suit, a woman says that when she was a 13-year-old girl back in the year 2000, that she attended an after party for the MTV Video Music Awards, during which she says she was raped by Jay-Z and P. Diddy. She says that Jay-Z removed her clothes, pinned her down and raped her while P. Diddy and an unnamed female celebrity watched on. She says she was then raped by P. Diddy as Jay-Z and this female celebrity watched on once again. Jay-Z has dismissed in a lengthy statement these claims as idiotic. He's also attacked the character and legitimacy of the lawyer who has brought these claims. In his statement, Jay-Z directly addresses that lawyer. He says, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit." The wife, which he refers to, is of course Beyoncé, whom he's been married to since 2008 and been in a relationship for much longer than that. As for P. Diddy, he's currently in prison in New York awaiting criminal charges for sex trafficking and racketeering. He faces more than 24 civil lawsuits. This is the first one that has named Jay-Z, and he denies those allegations.
A civil lawsuit was recently updated to include Jay-Z, accusing him of being involved in an assault case involving a 13-year-old girl back in 2000. The case also implicates Shy Die and Combs, sending shockwaves through the entertainment world. Fans and critics are finding it hard to process the seriousness of these accusations. While these claims have not been proven in court, they have undeniably tarnished Jay-Z's successful career.
And media mogul Jay-Z now accused of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 along with Sean Diddy Combs. Now, this lawsuit was originally filed back in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Diddy as the defendant. But it was just refiled today to include Jay-Z now, whose real name is Sean Carter. Of course, he's the husband of Beyonce. The anonymous accuser alleging the assault occurred after she was driven to an after party following the MTV Video Music Awards. The suit says she was offered a drink that made her feel, quote, woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down. Shortly after, the suit claims Jay-Z and Diddy entered the room where she was resting, eventually sexually assaulting her. And now, just in the last hour, we are hearing from Jay-Z and his team of lawyers. They are denying the claim and say that they are the victims of blackmail, saying, quote, "I will not give you one red penny, and my only heartbreak is for my family." Joining us now to break this all down as it's happening, News Nation Law and Justice contributor, former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffendorfer. Jennifer, thanks for staying with us on this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And so we just received a response from the victim's lawyer, really just in the last few minutes. Take a look. This is on social media. A lawyer, Tony Busby, saying Jay-Z has, quote, "tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff, but his conduct has had the opposite impact." He goes on to say that the allegations speak for themselves and he will let the facts come out in court, not in the media. What do you make of this real-time back and forth that we're seeing between these two parties tonight?
Well, it is interesting, and I think it's because Jay-Z came out so strongly and said, listen, I'm going to go after you. And then he filed a suit quickly on the heels of the other suit against Busby and the accusers. So because of that, you're seeing this taunting sort of back and forth in the media.
Do you believe that we may see Jay-Z face a judge? And if so, when would we see him in court? Any indication there yet?
Well, we're definitely going to see him, I believe, on this suit. There are so many details. You know, they describe a house, a driveway, another woman being there. They discuss about...
Adding to the controversy, a woman rumored to be Jay-Z's mistress has come forward with damaging claims. She alleges that the rapper has a hidden, darker side that contrasts sharply with his public image as a smart businessman and devoted family man. Her statements have made the situation even more intense, adding more complications to an already shocking story.
So she's locked into this story now, and that means there could be additional witnesses to corroborate her story or refute the story.
Yeah, I know you've mentioned the specificity of the details really stand out to you in this filing. Do you find it strange that the filing originally did not include Jay-Z, just Diddy, and now Jay-Z is suddenly added today? I mean, does that make Jay-Z's addition in any way less credible, or is this not in fact so unusual?
It's not unusual when they're still digging up information and facts to prove the allegations that they're trying to make. In addition, remember, this 13-year-old says there's a female there. That has not been disclosed either. That will be very interesting because she could be culpable in this as well.
Yeah, that is interesting. Do you expect we are going to be seeing other celebrity names added and refiled in other lawsuits involving Diddy?
I do. I think this really has a web that wraps around many different people, and I think we're going to see a lot more people named.
Tell me more about the details of any potential blackmail. We do see Jay-Z and his team really coming out swinging, making that allegation. Wouldn't that be a fairly easy allegation to prove? I mean, if in fact Busby reached out trying to blackmail him, wouldn't they have the receipts for that?
Well, what happened was Busby reached out and offered a mediation session, said that his client was amenable to that. I think that is what Jay-Z is sort of extrapolating as being some sort of, extortion or bribery situation. And really, that shouldn't be seen in that light.
Jennifer Coffendorfer, I know we'll be tracking this. Appreciate your time tonight, as always. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
The accusations have led many to question who Jay-Z really is beyond his fame and fortune. To understand him, we need to look at his history, his rise to success, the struggles he's faced, and the controversies that still follow him.
Breaking news from New York. A lawsuit has accused rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000, allegedly alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The anonymous accuser says the alleged assault happened after the teen was driven to an MTV Video Music after party. The federal suit was originally filed in October, listing Combs as a defendant. It's now been refiled to include Carter. None of the allegations have been proven in court. Carter is the first celebrity to be accused of sexual assault in connection to.
Jay-Z's journey began in Brooklyn's Marcy housing projects, where life was filled with violence, poverty, and uncertainty. He has often talked about his childhood, where happiness and danger existed side by side. It was a place where one day you'd celebrate a friend's new bike, and the next you'd mourn their loss.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was sexually assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000. In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" He added, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people." Joining us now, Joey Jackson, CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. There's a lot to unpack here. Joey, I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long, where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
So based on the allegations, Jessica, good morning. Good to see you. I think that it certainly could be. Why do I say that? Now, he, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because rape in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint, is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, raped her, and that, of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally. Now, with respect to evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right, more than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress. Number three, that she phone called her dad, who showed up, the 13-year-old, and now removed her. So civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law, but if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and, you know, we'll see what happens or if the DA looks and investigates.
So what happens now?
So what happens now?
Music became Jay-Z's escape. Inspired by his parents' record collection and legends like Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson. By the age of 9, he was writing rhymes and creating beats, a passion that grew stronger in his teenage years. Despite the challenges of street life, he often credited his survival to a combination of luck and taking chances to find a better path.
This is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding, right? Before that, just briefly, there was a demand letter sent. And a demand letter is a letter being sent by a lawyer saying, hey, I don't have to sue you. We can sit, we can mediate it. If we reach an agreement, it never sees the light of day. Jay-Z saying, I don't care about your demand letter. I look at it as blackmail. You want to sue me, sue me. You want to look at it criminally, look at it criminally, but it'll go through the fact-finding process. If a trial is necessary to determine the facts, that's what will happen, but it'll be deemed civil. No indication at this point as to whether or not any criminal investigation will ensue as a result of this.
Yeah, and Jay-Z came back incredibly forcefully against these allegations and really singled out that attorney as well for being, I'm paraphrasing here, but greedy, saying he's out to get money, and calling that letter essentially blackmail.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Jessica, also suing the attorney, saying he's intimidating him, harassing him, etc. Now, demand letters are not new. What lawyers do is they send them out as a matter of protocol and practice so that you can expedite the process. At the same time, there's certain ethical standards that you have to use, and you have to have a good faith factual belief that this is true. Now, you can argue this complaint was filed in October, right? Could have mentioned Jay-Z then. You didn't. Why? It was amended now to include him. Are the factual assertions true? Are they fact or fiction? Is it a money grab or not? All of that will be litigated in a court of law, but according to Jay-Z, this never happened, is pure fiction. It is a money grab, and he's fighting for his name, reputation, and certainly innocence and justice in his view, which is he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and you touched on a point, too, that I wanted to ask you about, which was that this was an amendment to this already existing lawsuit. What are people to take away from that? The fact that they're coming back and adding to this now with this specific name?
Yeah, Jessica, so it depends. That's also common. You could amend lawsuits, right, as a matter of course, and you do, to include certain factual allegations. The interesting thing to me in terms of your question and the takeaway, if you had this information about Jay-Z, it happened allegedly in September of 2000, why not include it in the original complaint? What happened between October and now that necessitated you putting in, and it's a question of credibility. Was he celebrity A, right, as was noted in the October complaint? Is this pure fiction? And what's interesting in the complaint is he really, that is the lawyer, tries to tie Jay-Z to Mr. Combs in so many ways, right? Birds of a feather is the argument that he's making. You can make that argument. You need the facts to sustain it. Let's see if they come up with any facts.
All right, we will see. All right, Joey Jackson, thanks.
Jay-Z's early years were filled with controversy. He openly admitted to being involved in drug dealing as a young man, putting himself at risk of death or prison. Music became his escape, a way to channel his experiences and turn his pain into powerful art.
The accuser's law firm telling NBC News that the woman alleging Jay-Z raped her when she was 13 years old is expected to undergo a voluntary polygraph test tomorrow. This after our exclusive interview with the now 38-year-old mother from Alabama found inconsistencies with her account. We agreed to conceal her identity as an alleged sexual assault victim.
What made you finally want to talk about it?
Well, I mean, nobody was going to believe me back then. Like, nobody.
In the wake of our reporting, Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, is pushing a judge to dismiss the accuser's lawsuit.
We expect Mr. Carter to be fully cleared of all of this in the coming days. Almost nothing that she says has checked out because this never happened.
On the night of the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000, the woman says Sean Diddy Combs' limo driver took her to an after party at a White House with a U-shaped driveway. There, the woman says she spoke to musician Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo that's the Last Supper.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative for the Maddens confirmed that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time and did not attend the 2000 VMAs. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both raped her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who drove more than 5 hours to pick her up.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not corroborate her story. I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, he said. A representative for Carter told NBC News that Jay-Z never attended a house party after the VMAs. They say he went to a nightclub for several hours, then went to his recording studio in Manhattan. In a follow-up phone interview, we asked her about the contradictions, and she said that she stands by her statements.
This woman is standing by her story. It happened over 20 years ago. Maybe her memory is hazy. Maybe her father doesn't remember that night.
No, she's doubled down on certain of these details. She says, I'm positive no one has come forward about this in nearly a quarter of a century, and that's because this never happened.
A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
I haven't asked for a dime from him. Not everything is motivated by money, and I'm sorry that he feels that it is.
The accuser's lawyer says his client remains adamant about her claim, that she signed 2 affidavits, and that he's waiting for the results of tomorrow's polygraph. Chloe Malas, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
In 1996, Jay-Z released his debut album, Reasonable Doubt, a raw and introspective statement that introduced a powerful new voice in hip-hop. Over the years, he sold 140 million records, won 4 Grammy Awards, and cemented his legacy as one of the greatest artists of all time.
If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but it ain't one. I got the
99 Problems rapper is adding one more problem to his list. In an amended civil complaint, Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, is now being accused of drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl at an after-party following the 2000 Video Music Awards in New York City. The lawsuit was originally filed in October against Sean Diddy Combs, now refiled to openly name Jay-Z as his alleged co-conspirator. Combs is currently behind bars pending trial on federal charges including sex trafficking.
For Jay-Z, this presents a very difficult situation because unlike Sean Combs, Jay-Z doesn't have the opportunity to say that he's being charged criminally and that this civil case should be paused. Instead, this case could go forward and he would have to sit for depositions, argue, defend, show where his whereabouts were, and the light of day could be very damaging to him both in the court of law and the court of public opinion.
Jay-Z has been famously married to Beyonce for 16 years. They have 3 children together. Today, Jay-Z denying all allegations, saying in part, "My only heartbreak is for my family," adding, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case." His attorneys quickly taking his rebuttal to court, filing a motion to deny the accuser's request to remain anonymous or dismiss the lawsuit, calling it a cynical and calculated campaign to force payment of an exorbitant sum of money.
There are a number of reasons as to why a defendant would ask that a plaintiff be named in a civil lawsuit such as this. They may simply say that getting the name and the time and place of when something occurred would better allow them to prepare for a defense. The other, probably less benign reason is oftentimes when someone is accused of a crime like this, the accuser doesn't want to be named, and if they are forced to be named, we have seen certain people decide to drop the lawsuit altogether. So it could be a tactic to try to get the lawsuit dropped.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward.
This recent revelation stems from one of at least 7 civil lawsuits against Sean Combs filed in October by attorney Tony Busby, all of which allege Combs sexually abused dozens of victims for over 2 decades.
What shocked me most was that it was going on openly in front of other people that you would know who didn't do anything to stop it.
Busby, a prominent Houston lawyer, is no stranger to going against powerful entities. He represented 12,000 plaintiffs in a lawsuit against the oil company BP following the tragic Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010. BP agreed to pay $7.8 billion to compensate local residents.
Jay-Z's influence goes beyond music. He built a business empire with ventures in fashion, liquor, streaming, and sports management. He co-founded Rock Nation, acquired Tidal, and partnered with the NFL on halftime shows and social justice initiatives. Ultimately, he became a billionaire and a symbol of entrepreneurial success.
Acted by the damage. In a statement, Sean Combs' legal team called the lawsuits against their client shameless publicity stunts, and that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor.
For Combs, he's under a lot of fire, both from a civil and a criminal standpoint. He's got a criminal case in the Southern District of New York where he could be going away to prison for decades, if not a lifetime. And as each week seems to pass by, Tony Busby and other individuals seem to just be adding on civil lawsuit after civil lawsuit.
According to the complaint, the 13-year-old Jane Doe was dropped off near the Radio City Music Hall in 2000, hoping to get into that year's Video Music Awards, but instead found her way into an after-party.
According to the allegations, when she first got to the party, she was asked to sign something she believes to be an NDA, but she didn't really read the details. After that, she entered the party.
After accepting a drink, she claims she began to feel woozy and lightheaded and entered what appeared to be an empty bedroom so she could lie down. Moments later, the lawsuit alleges, Combs, Carter, and an unnamed female celebrity enter, all of whom Jane Doe says she recognized. In the lawsuit, Jane Doe then alleges Combs and Carter took turns raping her as she lay on the bed disoriented, all while celebrity B watched. She claims she was only able to escape after hitting Diddy and running out of the bedroom.
Within the amended lawsuit of Sean Combs and now Sean Carter, the plaintiff is saying that she suffered immeasurable physical and psychological damage, that she's had problems with interacting with people down the line, keeping jobs, and being healthy, both physically and mentally.
At the time, the then 30-year-old Carter was nearing the height of his career. With a Best Rap Album Grammy Award under his belt for his record Volume 2, Hard Knock Life, and high-profile collaborations, including with Combs in the 1999 song Do You Like It? Do You Want It?
Painting a better picture than the one that I drew. You like it? Yeah. Wanna do the thing that I do.
In all, Jay-Z has won 24 Grammy Awards. 2021, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Trying to make me cry in front of all these white people.
Last year, he was named the greatest rapper of all time by Billboard, but his empire transcends the music world. He also founded Rock Nation, an entertainment company. Took a stab at fashion with Rockaware and ventured into hospitality with the 40/40 Club. Jay-Z, once rising to megastardom with Sean Diddy Combs, now facing disturbing allegations, also together.
When Tony Busby came out with the hundreds of potential civil lawsuits, he told us that there would be some names that could shock us. Now we know who Celebrity A is, Jay-Z, aka Sean Carter. But the question still remains, who was that female Celebrity B named in that lawsuit, and what other major names could be named in the lawsuits that come?
Despite his success, Jay-Z's personal life has often been under scrutiny, especially his high-profile marriage to Beyoncé. While they have built an image as a power couple, their relationship has faced challenges, including rumors of infidelity. Jay-Z's public acknowledgement of his mistakes and his efforts to rebuild their marriage revealed a vulnerable side of him, which contrasts with his usual confident persona.
Bombshell lawsuit accuses Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs of raping a 13-year-old girl back in the year 2000. Good evening, I'm Joe Torres.
And I'm Tanya Rivero. The alleged rape happened after the 2000 Video Music Awards, which took place at Radio City Music Hall. Tonight, Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, vehemently denies the allegation.
Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon is here with us in the studio. She's got the details on the lawsuit and the reaction. Sonia.
Joe, the disturbing civil case that was filed against Sean Combs back in October was just amended today. A small change with big implications, naming Jay-Z as the person initially identified in the suit as Celebrity A and accusing both men of raping a 13-year-old girl together back in 2000. The suit says they took turns assaulting the minor after the Video Music Awards show that year, and that another celebrity who still hasn't been named watched this happen. But someone who will not be named at all in this case is the accuser, who again was only 13 at the time. ABC News contributor and former prosecutor Richard Frankel tells us other lawsuits have not survived because the accusers have asked not to have their names be in the case at all. But this is different.
The judge has actually agreed that the victim can remain anonymous and that the case can proceed. So there seems to be a little bit more to this case. And again, as we go forward, there are more allegations, more facts coming out about this case. Of course, the defendants are denying it and strenuously denying it. But that's what a trial is for.
Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, in a statement tonight blasts the attorney who is representing the woman, accusing him of extortion and saying in part, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away." He goes on to say he'll have to explain this all to his children, and that the claims, if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids, would be laughable. Now, a representative for Sean Combs also calls attorney Tony Busby's efforts shameless publicity stunts designed to extract payments from celebrities who fear having lies spread about them. His statement goes on to say Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man, woman, adult, or minor. Now, the accuser, who was a minor at the time, alleges that a limousine driver noticed her that evening and invited her to the party after the awards show, where she claims both men assaulted her. Combs at the height of his fame, Jay-Z still at the time at the beginning of his tremendously successful career. Joe?
All right, Sonia, thank you.
The latest allegations, fueled by the Mistress's claims, have sparked debates about loyalty, power, and the responsibilities that come with fame. Combined with resurfacing accusations, these issues have left fans questioning how well they truly know their idol.
You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did run your life.
A 38-year-old mother from Alabama who has filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z of raping her when she was 13 years old is speaking out to NBC News for the first time. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward and talk today?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through, and it's been hard enough to be quiet. But it's a chapter of my life that I'd like to close.
An NBC News review of her account found inconsistencies with her allegations. She says that she went to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000 to catch a glimpse of her favorite celebrities.
You weren't scared to be all alone?
No, with having autism is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof juggle ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out.
In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury. The night of the 2000s VMAs, she says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive. Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who has since died. The woman says she spoke to Combs' limo driver who offered her a ride to an after party.
I stumbled upon Diddy's driver who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for.
What did you think when he said that to you?
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo because, I have about his tattoo that's the Last Supper because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative of the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at the time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns raping her while a female celebrity watched.
Jay-Z comes in.
This isn't the first time Jay-Z's name has been linked to controversy. Rumors about his involvement in scandals, including the tragic death of Aaliyah, have persisted for years. While these claims remain unsubstantiated, they add complexity to the narrative. There's clearly more to Jay-Z's story than what meets the eye.